it's really good to see that so many people are joining this session. Let me see if I can share my screen. Somehow I can't.
Yes, excuse me, Lotte. Just one thing
Yeah.
is this: Olaf, we are not that much aware about these living wages. So, if you kindly start from the very basic, why
Yes.
we are having this training program, and also what is the
Exactly.
relationship between jute and these living wages, that will be, I think, much better. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
I
much.
will.
And
Let
if
me.
we do have any questions, we could raise our hands, or after the presentations, we could write it down, the questions which will pop up in our mind. And after the presentation, I think we'll ask the questions. Is it okay?
Yes, that's okay. We will have a couple of like really short breaks within
Great.
the
Okay.
presentation, and then we can pop the questions. I think that would be the
Okay,
best way
that will be great.
to do it. All right. So a little
Thank
bit of
you.
background. Yeah. So a little bit of background. First of all, LC Packaging. LC Packaging has been a customer of Janata already for 60 years. So we kind of know each other a long, long time. And LC Packaging is a producer and a distributor of flexible transport packaging. And so what we purchase from Janata are jute bags. And we are based, well, our head office is based in the Netherlands. We are spread all through Europe with offices and warehouses. We also have operations in Africa, in North America, and we also have our own factory, not jute bags, but plastic bags in Bangladesh. Within the European Union, there is a lot of focus on social and environmental improvements, let's say, in value chains and in business. So we have high targets on emission reductions. Moving towards renewable energy. That's also what you do with Janata, and I'm pretty sure also with other factories. It has to do with like circular economy, can we reuse certain materials, etc., and also social topics. And one of the big themes, let's say, is living wages. And a living wage, and I will dive in a little bit, is basically saying that um, when a worker receives remuneration, so wages, that should be sufficient to afford a decent standard of living for the worker himself, but also for his or her family. And that what is a decent standard of living? That includes food, water, housing, education, healthcare, transportation, clothing, and other essential needs. So basically, what we see in many countries, and that's not just African countries or Asian countries, that's also within within Europe and North America and South America. Many countries, a minimum wage set by the government does not allow for a decent standard of living, right? So we probably need a little bit more to be able to send all children to school and not just 2 out of 4, for example, or to make sure that if something is not going well, if something breaks down in the house, you have a little bit of savings to pay for it. So that living wage is a topic that is now on the international agenda of the United Nations and also the International Labour Organization. And especially the HR experts among us know these type of organizations and also know that if this is on the agenda and it will also be included, let's say, in salary policies, that this will become quite a topic. Also, a lot of the products that you produce at Janata are used are sold, so they are exported to Europe. And there are many companies within the European Union, the bigger companies, that now have to make sure that their value chains comply with all these social and environmental standards. So the implementation of living wages basically is a license to operate in the near future, if you want to keep doing business with European countries. So we as a company, we have set a target and we said, okay, all our key suppliers, and our key suppliers are the suppliers that together represent 80% of our procurement spend, and Janata is one of our key suppliers. We would like to achieve a living wage no later than by 2030, because it can be, for some suppliers, it can be quite a journey to get there, and also to be able to maintain a living wage. And to make sure, if we achieve that target, then we make sure that our key suppliers can stay with us, and we can keep serving the European and American markets. So trying to achieve that target and to also bring our key partners along, we created a living wage program together with IDH, that's the Sustainable Trade Organization, Sustainable Trade Initiative, and they are basically the experts in making living wage calculations, providing training, and helping big corporates or supply chains to implement living wages throughout supply chains. And that started, of course, with supply chains like the cacao, the chocolate, but also bananas and a lot of agricultural supply chains. But now we see that moving towards industrial supply chains as well. And when the reason why we are here today is because, well, I was in January, I was in Bangladesh. We have been, me and Ms. Doruba have been in contact before about this topic, also through Mr. Bashir, to talk about, okay, so first of all, can we understand the concept of living wages and calculate where you stand for Janata, but maybe also for the group, and also how can we create that business case around living wages? We have introduced living wages in our own factories ourselves, and we face a lot of benefits. We have really high worker loyalty, definitely less turnover. Production goes up. Because if you have happy workers, then it's easier they have more energy, let's say, to work harder. The quality is really stable of our products. So we see a lot of benefits, and Mr. Ruba was invited to our factory to also speak to our factory manager, and then also with Mr. Ruba, Mr. Helal, but also Mr. Anish and the team, we also talked about this topic at Janata. Today, I hope, Doruba, is this enough basics for you and for the team?
For me, it is okay. What about others? Is it okay? The newcomers? Because the Janata team, they know a few about this because we tried to brief ourselves before do the exercise.
Yeah.
So the newcomers, what do you think? If you do have any question, you can keep it and we could ask it later on. Hamida, any question? Brishti, Johir, Yunus?
No, ma'am. No,
Okay,
ma'am.
Pallab?
All right.
Okay.
I think what would be good to know is that a living wage is not just like the financial part. It's not like the primary wage. A living wage it also includes secondary benefits that have a value. So in-kind benefits that have a value. And that could be like financial secondary benefits like bonuses, but that could also be things like childcare, things like housing, things like everything that has a value that is taking, let's say, the weight of the shoulder of the worker financially, that contributes to that living wage. So everything that has to do with food, water, housing, education, healthcare, transportation, etc. And also, so Janata has a really long list of, well, the IDH said it this morning very well, extraordinary benefits. There are so many great benefits for the workers. Some of them are definitely like a full yes to include in living wage calculations. Other ones are very like the mindful, thoughtful benefits that might not directly contribute to the basics, but are of course definitely also an extra benefit, but maybe not in the living wage calculation. So maybe, Sanne, also good to know in your explanation what we said is, what we're going to do is to explain how to fill out the salary sheet. And the benefits that are like the basic benefits, like the bonuses, the childcare, etc., like the obvious benefits, they will be included. And in that case, if there is already a living wage achieved, let's say, then the other ones do not have to be calculated anymore. They can just mention as extra ones. And if the living wage is not yet achieved, then, for example, Brice can dive into the other benefits to see whether some extra value can be added. The living wage program is set up in 5 steps. First of all, and that's the most important one, and that's what we're going to explain today, is to measure the living wage gap. So where do you stand today? What is the value of everything that you provide your employees? And we do that with what we call a salary matrix tool. And that tool is created by IDH, and Sanne is the expert, and she will explain how to fill out that tool and let's say create your living wage gap report. And based on that report, and that's the second step, after this session and after this assignment, we can define on a living wage strategy. So if there is still a gap, what does it mean? And what can you do to close that gap? What can we do to contribute? So I think it's also both ways. What we ask you to do annually is to report on progress, which basically means to fill out the salary matrix every year to see, okay, are we still on living wage level, or did it increase, or maybe did it decline, to see where you are. And I think that would also be a good exercise for yourself. Okay, and then if you achieve a living wage, then you can have that verified. So you do, for example, SMETA audits via the SEDEX platform. In the SMETA audit, you can also request to verify your living wage calculations. And if you have your living wage calculation verified, you can call yourself a living wage employer. And that is an important one, because especially if we are going to sell your products here within Europe, or maybe Forbo, one of your big customers in the flooring, to say that it comes from a living wage employer, that's a huge benefit. And what we also try to do is to share best practices between the different suppliers that we have. So we, whether it's plastic, whether it's jute, whether it's cardboard, we have many suppliers, but they are also like in packaging or in different type of materials. But basically, the learnings and the best practices, I think, are important for everyone. For this measuring the living wage gap, the first time what we do is when you have your calculations done and you share the report with us, we have an external consultant who will do like what they call a salary matrix check. So she will contact you to walk you through the report and to see whether everything was filled out correctly. We will pay for that, but I think it's good, especially the first time when you fill it out, to see whether everything is correct, and then for the future you know where to go. So that's that's an extra check. So before we dive into the details, are there any questions or comments?
I have a question here.
Yes.
So we have to complete all the 5 steps if we want to tell that living wages is established in Janata Jut. If so, will you give us a timeline that we have to start for step 1 from this time, and the 5 will be completed within that time?
Yes.
Like maybe we did something haphazardly. Like from our understanding, we did a partial of number 5. Maybe we did.
Yes, you did
But
a
we
part
didn't.
of number 5, and the first step we're going to do today. So our target, let's say, for living wage suppliers, you as a supplier, is that all these suppliers have to pay a living wage by 2030. So that's in 5 years. So basically, based on the outcome of step 1, and that is step 1, we can define where we stand. And that could be already a living wage, and then you immediately go to step 4 to verify it via this meta audit or via a different audit. And that could also be that there's a gap. We see that wouldn't be weird, Robert, because we see a gap everywhere. And we also started with a gap, so that's not a problem. But the next step after this will be defining a living wage strategy, and there we will also put a timeline in.
Yeah. So whenever we are telling about the strategy fixation, that means it is country specific. Like for us, it will be our own living wages strategy or
Yes,
whatever. Okay. Okay. It
it will
might
be
be
your
different.
strategy to achieve that living wage, to close that gap,
Okay. Okay.
basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I will also share a short summary of that program with you. Yeah. But basically, what we're trying to do is to support you in every way. Sanne,
Yes,
your turn.
my turn. Thank you,
Okay.
Lotte,
Are you
for the
ready, everyone?
introduction.
This was the easy
Yes?
part.
Okay, let me start by pulling up my presentation. Can everyone see my screen? Yes? Okay, great. So as Lotte already did the explanation of why we're here today, why we are measuring a living wage, I will focus on how we are going to do that. So I will introduce you to two websites and an Excel sheet. We will start with the IDH e-learning website. I will show you how it looks and what you can find there. Second, I will walk you through the salary matrix tool. I will explain you the different tabs and what you need to fill in on each one. And this should help you get familiar at least with how the tool looks like. After that, we will take a look at the Excel file. This Excel file will be used to upload your salary data in the tool. And as fourth, I will share some key learnings from other partners who have done the same exercise. And at last, I will explain the next steps after this training. Of course, after the meeting, we will send you a recap mail with the links to the various websites, with the template in it, so that you have a starting point to begin with. So the e-learning website, to fill in the salary matrix correctly and to give you some leverage to fall back on while gathering and filling in the data, IDH has created an e-learning website. So let me switch screens. So I hope everyone can see the e-learning website now. This is the e-learning website where you find several handy tools to complete the salary matrix. On the left, you find a navigation bar, which guides you through the several topics. First, you have how to get started. It gives you a logging in explanation, guides itself, but the handy thing is there's a direct link to the IDH matrix tool. You will find a glossary here with all the technical terms and explanations. So if you can't remember what it exactly was, you can find it here. And this one is handy before you get started. There's a checklist available, which lists all the documents and information you need while filling in the salary matrix tool. The second topic explains the several tabs. It's how to navigate the website. You will learn about how to fill in the tool, and it will give you direct links to frequently asked questions. So it's really recommended to check this website out if you have any questions. The third topic is country-specific guidance. This is not necessary for filling in the salary matrix, but if you are interested to see how other companies handled the salary matrix, then you can take a look at those cases. Another topic is training materials, also not needed, but if you want to, you can dive in to get a little bit more knowledge about the ADH tool. And the last part still have questions. Again, list frequently asked questions, but it also includes the calculation formulas for ones who are interested to see how the calculations in the tool are made. So this e-learning website, this is one of the 2 websites IDH has available. And when I'm going through the website, I always have it next to me so that I can look up if I want to. So for this first part was only an introduction of the e-learning. I will proceed going to the salary matrix tool itself. I will start there, but I will give small breaks in between to check up and to see if there are urgent questions we need to answer. So let's go there. So what do we see here? This is the salary matrix website. It's a dashboard, it's a tool. And when we need to when the first time you arrive at this page, you need to create a login and an account. And when you have done that, you will have the same page as I have in this screen. And what we need to do now is we need to create a new matrix, but the tool will tell you to create a facility first. So we will do that. Okay, what the tool will do, it will give you a pop-up screen like this, and it will ask you to answer some tabs with information regarding your facility. Tab 1 contains 2 questions. It asks you if you register all the wages paid, and 2, if you register the daily hours worked. Both are minimal requirements to make accurate calculations. For now, we will assume that on both questions, the answer is yes. And we will click next. It automatically goes to the second tab. On the second tab, you fill in information regarding the location of your facility. In this example, I will use Bangladesh and Dhaka division. It also asks you to fill in a location address, which you can do, no harm there, but as we also fill in the coordinates here on the right, let me see if I can do that. Yes, there it is. That's one. And the second one. As you can see, Google Maps automatically shows the location that which I filled in on the map. And I will just click next. So we filled in the first one, the location has been filled in. Now it asks you to fill in some facility and production information. First, the facility name. I will just put, I'll say, packaging for this testing purpose. It asks you the size of the production or processing manufacturing area. I will put here 8 hectares, but you can also fill in square meters or square feet, what you prefer. It doesn't matter for the calculations, it's only some general company information. And it asks you to fill in the salary matrix currency. This one is important. It's important that the currency you choose matches the currency you use in your salary information. It automatically gives Bangladeshi taka because we selected that region, but you can also use US dollars if you prefer. For this testing purpose, I will use Bangladeshi taka. Then we go to the sector and product. We need to select a sector which is most close to the sector you are in. For jute bags, I know it's apparel, including footwear, bags, and textiles. If you not sure which one you should choose, you can always choose other. This is also a thing that will not influence any calculations. So if you're not sure, choose others. And the products you will give a brief explanation of the products the facility is producing. In this example, I will put in jute. And at last on this page, it asks you the units of production. And the units of production varies from in weights, but also pieces or hours or turnover is allowed. The most common I have seen till now is tons or kilos. So I will use tons in this example case. As you can see here on the left, the contact information is already filled in, and this is directly linked to the data you filled in when creating the account. So, and then I click next, and now you can see the overview of the data we have filled in. Okay, I checked it, it's all correct. So I will create the facility. So this is the first step has been taken, so that's good. And what we now need to do is, let's see. I clicked on the facility, and what we now need to do is create the matrix. But before we go there, I was wondering if anyone has questions till now. Lotte, are there any questions in the chat? No?
No.
No? Okay. Then I will proceed by creating the matrix. Here there's also a button, but yesterday didn't work with me, so I will use that one. Okay, so when we click to create new matrix, the tool will give us a pop-up page where you need to fill in 3 things. First would be the calendar year of your wage data. I will fill in 2024. 25 has been started, so we can't do a full year of data there. So I will choose 2024. This one is important because the tool, based on your location and on your calendar year filled in, will search for the most applicable benchmark later. I will explain in a second, but it's important that this year matches your salary data and will match the benchmark we will choose later. Here you can name the matrix. I will just leave the automatically created name. And in the description box, you can give a brief description of how your salary payroll is structured. For now, I will put in test, and I will click this box. You don't need to do that. This is only because I'm creating a test file so that ADH knows that I'm only testing with data and that they don't need to do anything with this account. So after clicking the create matrix box, you will of the button, you will be directed to the first tab in the salary matrix. Here you can see that the data we have already filled in is showing. And you also see 5 tabs with exclamation marks. These are the tabs we need to fill in before we can create the actual report. And the first tab we are going to go to and explain is the benchmark. And we need a benchmark. A benchmark is a living wage value calculated by verified companies based on the cost of living for a typical family in a specific area. And this benchmark, this value, we need to show in your reports as a line to measure up against. So what we're going to do, what we are going to do is...
So Sanne, to briefly
Yes.
interrupt. So what you're going to do in this tool is to compare your salary data with the benchmark of what a living wage should be according to a certain standard.
Yes,
and there are
exactly.
different types of benchmarks, and you can look up the one that fits best. But that's basically what you're doing in this exercise.
Yes,
That's also what's been showing. Yeah.
Yes. 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 Exactly that. It's a value calculated, which will show as a line, and we are measuring our salary wage data against that value, so that we can see if we're under it or above it, which defines the living wage gap. So
here I have a question.
Yes.
In this benchmark session, benchmark is the comparison statement.
Sorry.
Comparison statement benchmark. Suppose I am making a sheet.
Yeah.
That means I have make a wages plan or others plan that is compare with my local area.
Yeah.
Yes, it is based on the area that you filled in.
Yes.
So that's why you put in the coordinates of the facility, so, and then the benchmark automatically will.
Others, I turn into the values. Okay.
Yeah.
Suppose I am giving as someone a book. 10% I am giving 10 books.
Yeah.
Whenever I turn it into values, that means I am giving them 100 taka.
Yes, well, the book would not contribute to that standard of living, but yes, yeah, that's basically what you do, but that's further on in the tool, let's say, but that's what you do, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is select your benchmark. So I opened this pop-up screen, and here you can already see that the tool selected some available benchmarks. As you can see here, there is some for Dhaka division and the year 2024. But in the tool right now, there are only benchmarks available for purchase. However, we know that also a verified website wage indicator, it provides some free benchmarks. So what I will do after this training, I will provide you with the direct link to that website so that you can look up the free benchmark. And you can use that one. So no need to purchase one directly from here. I will guide you to the free one. Okay.
You can also imagine. No, I would take the other one down, if that's okay.
It doesn't really matter for the training purpose, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, because I think it's good to also know that the Dhaka division, the wages, the living wages are much higher than specifically the Gazipur, because living in Dhaka is much more expensive than out of it. So really take a good look at what the district should be.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there are a lot of obviously in Bangladesh, and you know best which one would fit your facility most. Yeah. What is important to note, if you request the benchmark, you will receive it by mail. Please document that email with your documents you use for entering the salary data, as our external party will check if we use the correct value, because there are many values in the document. Just a quick check to see if we use the correct one. And let's assume for now I got a benchmark of 17,000. And what you can also do here on this benchmark field is for add other benchmarks. This can be, for example, the minimum wage, or a wage level you want to reach before the living wage, or just an extra line in the document. Basically, let's fill in minimum wage, for example, with a made up value of 15,000, just to show you how it will look later on. And then we will save and go to the next tab. Was this first part of filling in the data, I think will be okay, but the part of the benchmark, was that clear for everyone, or do we need to dive in a bit more? Lotte, any questions in the...
I have one question.
Sorry,
Hello?
I couldn't hear you. Good.
Sorry, I'm just curious. Who will set the benchmark for us, or we'll just select it by ourselves?
We use several verified websites which are by ADH selected. Which indicator is one of that, fair wage is one of that, but you have more. If you want to use another benchmark from another company, that's absolutely possible. We only need to check with IDH then if this company is also verified. So if the calculation method they use is in line with what we expect. So it's not set by us or by ADH itself. It's another company who set the benchmarks, just a database with values in it. Yeah.
Okay, so,
IDH has approved 6 benchmarks, six different methodologies. They are all included in this selection tool, let's say. Only the wage indicator, I would say, that's something you should look up yourself, and it's for free. So that sometimes helps, and that's also approved by us.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we'll have like a couple of options.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
we can select anyone, and that will follow, right?
You can select anyone that makes sense. So if you if you select a benchmark from the other side of the country, not in that area or not comparable to the area, then of course you probably get questions about it. But anything that makes sense towards Palaj Gorashal, then definitely that would work. And you will see some slight differences, so you can choose the lowest one probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So then we will proceed to the workforce context, a little bit more information on how your employees are structured within the company. The first question would be if there are any registered trade unions, if they are active in the facility. I will just fill in 0 for now, but it could be 1, it could be 2. You will know best. The second question would be if workers are not registered within a trade union, if they are represented by another type of worker organization, for example, a workers' council. I will also put no in for now. And it will also ask you if you have any piece rate workers, so people who only get paid by the number of bags they produce, for example. Also 0 for this explanation. Then it will have 2 questions in regards of third-party employees. The first is if you have any employees who are employed via labor providers or intermediaries, like temporary work agency, labor brokers, stuff like that. And the second one, if there are any activities who are carried out outsourced by service providers, for example, a security or a canteen employee who is sourced out via third party. For I will put in no and maybe yes, 1. Then we go to the last 2 questions of this tab, and then we completed another one. And this one would be the minimum number of hours of paid annual leave for a worker. So public holidays, for example, let's say you have 1 week of paid leave, you will fill in 48 hours. And the last one would be if there is unpaid mandatory leave. For example, if a factory needs to close this for maintenance for 2 weeks and the employees are sent home without payment. And then we will fill in the number of hours here. Let's say it's closed for 2 weeks. We fill in 96 hours. Then we save. So we saved the first 3 and we landed on the product information side. Here you will see that the information entered earlier is already visible. We already filled in jute, it's there. We filled in tons, which is there too. You can correct that. For example, you made a mistake and you want to switch it. You can do that in this screen. That's not a problem. And then it asks you how much did you produce yearly, basically. So I will fill in 500 tons. And then we go to the next part, which asks you to fill in any sustainability certifications or audit standards you may have. This is not mandatory information. If you don't want to fill it in, you can just proceed to the next question. But if you want to list it here, you can. There's some room for it to add. Then the last part of this product information tab is about seasonal information. Some companies work with only a couple months of production and seasons. In that case, you can fill that here. It will not influence any calculations, but it can give a little bit more insight of how your company is working. I will just keep it easy and I will just say months, January and 12 months for a whole year. And we will save again and go to the next. So IDH currently added this tab. what you can do is fill in any contributions your company already received for increasing the welfare of your workers when there's a gap between the current wages and the living wage. So for example, when we finalize the strategy and a company wants to contribute to reaching the living wage, then you can add those contributions on this page. Which can give a nice view of how the living wage is reached.
Closed.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Sanne, Dilruba has a question.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. In case of production report, will we mention only we are manufacturing this much for LC packaging or the full production?
The full production, please, if you want to share.
Okay.
It does not influence any calculations. So you're not obligated to fill it in, but it can give a little bit more insight of the company and what it's doing.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What's good to mention that if we choose yes, you need to fill in some extra data like who provided the contribution, what kind of it was. It could be monetary, but it could also be something else. And how much, etc. But for now, we will fill in no, as we are at the beginning of this process. And we will click Save and Next. So finally, we landed on the payroll information. In the tool, this is the last step. However, you can, of course, gather and prepare your data in advance. The tool provides two types of entering the data. The first one being manually in the tool itself. Here you can fill in wage averages per worker type under certain conditions. But I'm not going into this detail for the simple reason we don't find it recommended. It's more time consuming as you would need to do it one by one. And it's more sensitive for error. It's not easy to correct if you made a mistake. And our experience till now is that everyone worked with the second option, which is filling in an Excel template. So I will show you how to fill in the Excel sheet in a minute, including the learnings we had from other cases. But before we go there, I still want to show you something here. Let's see. If I click here on the Uproll Payroll, you will find two buttons. First would be download the latest template. And the second, download an example. If you are going to upload your template and it gives a lot of errors, it could be wise to first check if you still have the latest template. I will always try to warn you. So if a template changes and I notice, I will give you a heads up, but it can be that it's changed without me knowing. And then the first one should be if you use the latest template. And here you can click to download it. And then you will see it will download. Okay, and what I also will show you, and then after that I'm going to explain the Excel sheet, but now we're here, I will also show you how simple it is when you have already filled in the Excel files to upload it. So I just select my file. And as you can see, I successfully uploaded my Excel file. My Excel file didn't have many rows. It only had 5 rows. So this one was easy, but I can imagine that your Excel file looks a little bit different from mine. And when we have done this, you can actually create your report. Please do not click the submit matrix yet. First, we are going to view the draft report. Because if we submit the matrix, we can't change anything anymore. So we advise to only submit the matrix after the external validation has been done. So they actually know, okay, everything is correct, and then you can create the final report. So what I've done, I pulled up the draft report, and this is what a report looks like. The first one here, the line, I hope you can see it because it's really small, but that black line on the above one, that's our benchmark value. And the dotted line below that is the line I added extra as the minimum wage. And the columns are the calculations on the workers. So in my case, three workers were below the living wage as they are in red, and 2 of my workers were above the living wage value. There is more data in this report. We will not walk through it, all of it, but you can also have a little overview per job category where you can filter out the in-kind benefits if you want, or include them, or the bonuses, so that you can see how much of the living wage is in normal wages and extras like bonus and in-kind benefits. So for now, that was the tool. So let me go back to the presentation. So is everyone still with me? Because this was quite a lot of talking and a lot of showing. So I hope you can all still follow. Everyone is good?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay.
So you are
I-
on 2/3, right? You're on 2/3 because you saw,
Yeah,
okay, where is the e-learning
we are going very fast.
page? You
Yes.
saw the tool, and now you need to fill out, let's say, the payroll data in the Excel to be able to upload in the tool. And I think that's the next step, Asana. So
Yeah.
diving into.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What
indeed,
I
we
want is that thank you so much for a very good presentation, very interactive and thoughtful. I think you have given us the link. Let us try. Let us go through it. If we face any troubles or have some questions in mind, then can we knock you again?
That's
Definitely.
also fine by me. That's also
I,
fine by me. But
Okay.
however, I do think that there are some learnings. We can go through it a little bit faster if you would like that, because there are some learnings. I can also skip and go to the learnings. That we skip
Yes.
the explanation of the Excel file, but
I
go
wouldn't
to
do that.
no.
So yeah, so because I think the Excel file, let's try to stay within the time, but I think the Excel file is a really important one to understand, because that's basically the basis of your calculations. It will not be, but I think it's good to go column for column. What do you have to fill out?
Yes.
I can
Okay.
do both. For me, it doesn't matter.
Leave it up to you, Dilruba. You make the choice.
Okay. Okay. So I will talk to my team, and based on that, I will let you know what will go for the first time and then what will be our next. Okay.
Okay. So then maybe, Sanne, you can just do the learnings now for the
Okay,
Excel sheet. So some
Yes.
that
tips for filling it out. Sounds good.
yes. Let me see, because now I need to. So let me switch. Okay, so filling in the Excel sheet does have some requirements, and that's why we made this training so long, because we notice, because there's been asked a lot of information, but there are also calculations behind it. So it's really important that certain options are correct. Otherwise, the tool will not make the calculations we needed to make. And so the first learning I can give you is to respect the template. This means do not add columns, do not remove columns. If values need to be filled in, don't add any letters like words. We've seen that somebody filled in 2000 hours, typed out hours, but the tool can't calculate with letters. So please respect the template. What's also very important is that you work in the latest template. So if you upload it and it will give you errors, good first check would be if you're using the correct template. Please make sure that the year of your wage data matches the benchmark year. They need to be exactly the same to make a good calculation. The fourth thing that is really important is the work time and duration. And this is which we've seen a lot, where mistakes are made, and I will explain you why. If you choose entire year full-time, the tool will not calculate to an FTE. So it will assume that the salary data filled in is for an FTE. If you choose a portion of the year or part-time, the tool will make a calculation as if the worker is working full-time and a year. And in the end, it will divide that wage over 12 months. So then you will have a monthly remuneration. If you choose entire year full-time, but you fill in data for a part-timer, you will have a living wage gap, an unnecessary living wage gap. So it's important that you choose the correct one. And then what's really important is absolutely how you fill in the total hours worked and the overtime worked and the total remuneration earned and the remuneration for overtime worked. This is really important. We have seen it a lot that it didn't go correctly from the start. So really take a good look at what is asked, because the first one will ask you the total hours worked, including overtime. The second one would be only the overtime hours. The third will be the total remuneration for the whole year, including for overtime, but without yearly bonuses, important. And the third would be the remuneration for the overtime. So really take a good look at what is asked in the salary data columns. Yeah, I think that's also really important is for in-kind benefits and bonuses. You need to calculate it to an FTE. So if you have a part-time worker receiving in-kind benefits, you need to calculate as if the worker has worked the entire year full-time. So that's...
Yeah, so I think, Doruba, we also have a recording on this part of the session, specifically on this part of the session, explaining the sheet. So let us share this with you as well. So if the team is working on it, they can also watch that recording, that special part of the team, because maybe this is not for everyone to be in so much detail. So then we also don't have to maybe schedule another training, or maybe can try to avoid that, and that also is more efficient for you. So we can also share that part of the recording because we have that already because we did the training before. Would that work?
Okay. Yeah, that works. Also, another question, suppose we are having shifts. We do have 4 shifts, one general and another 3 shifts, 8 hours per shift. So in any case, if we do not do overtime, do I mention it that not applicable?
No, just leave it 0. You can just leave it 0. If there's no overtime, you can just leave it on 0.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I think one of the things, because you have a lot of employees, and if you fill this data out for each and every employee in the sheet, that will be a lot of work, right? What you are also allowed to do is to make groups. And then you make groups of employees that are in the same level, with the same salary and the same benefits, and you give that group a name. I don't know, the Stitcher group, 2 years of experience, I don't know, something like that. You give it a name, and then you group the different employees, and of course everybody in that group should have the same, let's say, almost the same remuneration and benefits.
Yeah, that's indeed a requirement. It can't difference in one group more than 2% in wages. Another requirement is that they have the same job category. So not a supervisor with a stitcher, but indeed stitchers, for example. And also we always separate males from females. So we can't females and males in one group. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, again, the e-learning website also explains every requirement of the data which needs to be filled in. So you can always look back there to see how you can group certain employees.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Sanne. Yeah, so this will be an assignment, but if you did it once, there's a lot of valuable information coming out.
True.
Yeah. At least for us, it was also very valuable because you really get to understand the value of what you offer your employees.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We will share this recording, but also the recording of the part that Sanne did not present yet. Yeah, and you know where to find us, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are also here. If you have a question and you want to have it by mail, or you want to have an extra meeting, we are here. So don't be shy.
Yeah. Okay. You can share the sheet if you're not ready, or if it's not working with uploading. You can share the sheet, and Sanne can do a check. Like, okay,
Lotte, just one thing is that we are approaching to annual holidays, for the Eid vacations. So before that, everyone is so much pressurized with the deadlines of productions.
Of course.
In that case, maybe we will be able to give you the required informations after the Eid vacation. Will it be too late?
No worries. No, I don't know, when is the Eid vacation?
Yeah, it is starting from 28th of March and will continue till 4th of March. 4th of April.
4th of April, yeah.
Yes.
a full year. No,
Yeah.
so I would say just keep us posted on when you think you can work on it. So we can also make sure that from our side we will schedule some time to check if you want, and to process. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It is not easy, but I'm pretty sure you can do it. You have a great team, and a big team.
I have good hands.
Yes,
so I'm
you
not
do.
worried.
Good hands and good minds.
Thank you, all of you here. Right. Thank you so much.
So, Ramadan Kareem, and I wish you the best Eid holidays. And
thank you.
Thank you for showing up and listening and diving into this topic.
I hope no one is having any question. Any question? Anis,
No, at this moment.
You have to do the major parts.
Yes.
We
We
will
will
only do
and
supervising. That's it.
yes.
I think.
So
No
first
issue.
we have to practice ourselves because this is a
Yes.
new
Yeah.
issue for us.
Yes.
So before that, we will not question again. Whenever
Okay.
we realize some problem, then directly we can mail to you.
Thank
So
you.
what we have to do in this case.
Thank you,
Thank
Anish.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Cut na, cut na.